Angie here from Lean Girl. I'm really excited about today's video. I'm going to be talking about how to not get fat while you're on holiday. This is a huge topic. I know that December holidays are coming up, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And something that I get asked all the time is, we always really want to get super lean and into shape for that summer bikini beach holiday. And then what happens is 2 days into the trip, you kind of want to put on your one piece and wrap a sarong around you. And obviously when we've worked so hard to really get that body into shape, we really want to feel our best for the entire holiday long. So if you want to learn my couple of tips on how to stay lean during a holiday and while you're traveling, then stay tuned to this video. I did want to tell you that I actually created a really cool download for you with my top travel tips on how to stay lean while traveling. So be sure to click the link in this video to get your free download delivered straight to your inbox. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that my holiday was really special. Well, the second part of it was because I actually got engaged to my boyfriend of 5 years. So it was a really exciting time of celebrations and lots of food and drinks. So I guess I wanted to start the video there with saying, I guess when it comes to some holidays, I think some holidays are, I think that there's two types. So there's one which is kind of a YOLO holiday.
I'll have a club sandwich and an order of fries, 2 slices of cake. Do you want any cake?
No.
3 slices of cake and a Diet Coke.
Which means that you really don't give a damn if you put on some weight. And then there's the other kind of holiday where you actually still want to feel good. You still want to, not lose everything that you've worked so hard to achieve pre-holiday. And why I really recommend, the second option of still, remembering the things that you know about nutrition, still kind of managing the food that you're eating, how much you're drinking, and still trying to get some exercise in, is because, as I said, you don't really want to feel shitty a couple of days into your holiday and feel like the cute outfits that you packed to wear aren't really fitting so comfortably anymore. It's quite amazing how just a few days of crazy eating and drinking can actually impact the way that you feel. So although I think that there is a time and place for a YOLO holiday where you just do go crazy and you don't give a damn, you eat every single thing that you want, I really do recommend going for option 2, which is a holiday where you're still absolutely enjoying yourself, but at the same time you still aren't being stupid about it. So let me get straight into my couple of tips that you can use next time you're traveling or perhaps on your December holiday that's coming up. One thing that I always say is I really don't recommend that you try and lose weight on holiday. So if you have been, on a journey now where you are trying to get a bit leaner and you have been trying to lose a bit of weight, I would say that it is rather better to kind of take the pressure off of yourself and go more into, or aim for a more maintenance kind of lifestyle when you are on holiday. Because when you're on maintenance, obviously you have more calories to work with, which means that you have more flexibility to enjoy all of the good things in life, but still maintain your body. So if you don't know anything about calories, basically when you're in a calorie deficit, it means that you're eating less calories, which means that the additional calories will come from your body fat stores and essentially you'll be losing fat. If you're at calorie maintenance, that means that your body is going to stay exactly where it is. And that is really what we're wanting to do while we're on holiday, is to really maintain. So that also gives you a lot more calories to play with, and you can, indulge here and there and still maintain your weight. I don't know, I don't think that these are in order of importance, these tips that I wanted to share with you today, but I think the biggest thing that I've learned while traveling and while on holiday is, number one, to just never get too hungry. So if you're anything like me, I have a huge appetite and I can get ravenously hungry. And because I do eat a lot of low calorie, high volume foods, which keep me really full for most of the day, When I am traveling, sometimes it is quite difficult to find those low calorie, high volume foods, and so often you can get pretty hungry. So for example, when we were traveling now in Europe, we landed in the morning, we then had to rush over to the hotel, we showered, and it got to around 2 p.m. and I hadn't eaten since the night before, actually before I got on the plane, and so I was starving. And here's the problem, when you are starving, when you are way too hungry, your willpower just absolutely goes out the window, and the problem is you have much less control over what it is and how much you are going to actually eat. So when I'm at home, I'm a little bit hungry, and I can still have some type of self-control and willpower and discipline. But when we are just way too hungry, whatever is put in front of us, we're like, I don't give a damn, I'm freaking hungry, people, I'm gonna eat.
Fiona!
Mom!
Harold! Donkey!
So whether that's the table bread, whether it's the nuts, whether it's, as soon as you get into your hotel room, you kind of raid the bar fridge, and we really aren't going to be as conscious about what choices it is that we are making. So one thing that I really want to say is don't get too hungry, and the way that you can do that is to actually bring along some food with you. So maybe it's nerdy, but I love bringing along some of my own snacks when I go on holiday. So some that I really love is, number one, I love protein bars. It is kind of like a delicious chocolate, but you can put it in your bag, it will last the whole trip, and you won't have any problems taking it through customs. It's not like you're trying to bring, I don't know, cheese. But so protein bars are a great one. You can just grab a few before you go on your trip and have those. You can of course keep your protein up with those, and they really are tasty, and it can kind of just hit the spot when you are getting a bit too hungry. Another one which I actually took along on my trip now when I went to Europe, and I think Gillan thought I was a little bit nuts at first, was actually instant oatmeal. So why I think this is such an awesome snack is, number one, I friggin' love oats. Like, I would probably eat oats for every meal if I could, that's how much I love it. And secondly, it is a pretty high volume and satisfying meal. Ask Goldilocks, who ate the porridge. But no, in all seriousness, it is a really great filling meal. And the best part is, if you have boiling water, you can make it anywhere. So if I was at the airport, for example, and I was waiting to jump on a flight and I was really hungry, I could basically just ask a coffee shop for some boiling water. I would pour my oats into like a takeaway cup, and I always brought along some sachets of sweetener as well in my bag. But of course, most coffee shops will have that as well. So you can throw in some sweetener. If you really want to get fancy, you can also throw in some cinnamon, and there is a really delicious, heartwarming meal for you. Something else that I love, which is from South Africa, is biltong, which is also a high protein snack, pretty low in calories, and you can also take that pretty much anywhere. So those are three of my top favorites. Now, when I am traveling, what I also love to do is actually find a grocery store wherever I go. So often when you're just looking at takeaway stores or restaurants, your options are quite limited on what it is that you can choose or order. So why I love going to a grocery store is I can get some really fresh fruit and vegetables, and I absolutely love exploring the aisles and seeing all the cool, amazing different finds that different countries have. So what I actually got when I was now in Ireland was some protein yogurt, which I've seen in many other European countries. I think Dan Pro has just come out with one in South Africa, but we don't have that many here. So I have found some amazing, delicious protein yogurts. I got a huge punnet of strawberries, and I got all of these things, and I actually took it back with me to my hotel, and I kept those on hand for when I really was feeling hungry. Of course, they have those little bar fridges there which help, but you can also get some apples, some bananas, and I know that a lot of people's stomachs actually normally play up when you are traveling as well. Just something with the way that, when you're in the air and aeroplanes and just not being in your regular routine, especially if there's a time difference, often we can get really bloated and our stomachs don't work properly either. So it's really important that we still get in those fruit and vegetables to really help boost the fiber. As you guys know, I always take a probiotic, which I always take along with me on holiday as well, to just try and keep my stomach as regular as possible. And then getting in those fruit and vegetables is also really important. So that kind of takes me into my next point, which is when you are ordering at restaurants, try for most of your meals. Like when you are in a place like Europe, for example, obviously there's so many different restaurants out there. I love to first Google and ask for recommendations on healthy food spots, because that's like totally my vibe, to go and find cool new health restaurants and places that sell fresh, amazing food. But a kind of rule of thumb when you're ordering at a restaurant is to really go simple and start with your lean protein. So whether that's fish, chicken, it could be lean steak. Most restaurants will have something that contains any of those items on the menu. And then really bulk it up with salad and vegetables. And you know, sometimes the portions are really tiny of the vegetables or salad, so I'll often ask for like a separate salad on the side, just to really try and help bulk up the volume without too many calories. And what I also want to say is, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Most restaurants are really accommodating, and if you say, hey, I really want 2 grilled chicken breasts with some steamed veggies and a salad, most people will actually make that for you. Another great option is breakfast foods, which we obviously are really simple, like having toast with eggs and avo and mushrooms and spinach, and you know, just things that you kind of recognize, and foods that are kind of simple. As soon as we start going for more extravagant foods that we wouldn't normally eat at home, that are covered in sauces, that are deep fried, of course we are really pushing up those calories and probably eating a lot more than we normally would. So a tip there is to really bulk up the salad and the veggies, and keep your meals as simple as possible. Now, side note to that, obviously if you are going to an incredible restaurant where you really want to eat whatever the hell you want, then it would be smart to try and budget your calories. I do recommend still tracking on holiday. Of course, now you are going to be at that maintenance calorie level, so you are going to have more calories to play with, but I find that you actually can enjoy things a bit more guilt-free when you are tracking, because if you don't track at all, you kind of don't know where you're sitting. You don't know, do I have calories to eat? Can I have the dessert? Should I not have the dessert? Or do you just say kind of screw it, I don't know where I am, I'm just going to eat everything in sight? So I would really recommend still tracking, and as I said, if you do want to go for an indulgent meal, then plan and budget those calories to have a good, nice chunk of calories that you can go out for dinner. You can have the bread, you can have the wine, you can have the dessert and the pizza, and you can all do it, of course, guilt-free. So I really think that it's a good balance to do some meals on holiday that are more simple and low calorie. And then of course it is okay to still have some high calorie indulgent meals and really splurge on the things that you love most. My next point is about alcohol. So when we're on holiday, we tend to drink a lot more. There's a lot of celebrations, there's beautiful places to go for drinks, and most of the time alcohol can be pretty high in calories. So think about a cocktail, for example. A cocktail can very easily be 300 to 400 calories. Now that is the amount of calories that you would potentially have in a meal. So we do have to be quite careful when it comes to alcohol. That can really push up your calories and eat into your calories, into your calorie budget for the day, and you won't have much left when it comes to actually eating food. So my personal preference is to always keep it cool and have 1 or 2 drinks, and again, be smart. Have things like champagne, wine, gin and tonic with sugar-free tonic water, and something that takes a little bit longer to drink. You know, some drinks I find I can just kind of down them like juice if they're really sweet. So things like wine and champagne are great options. Also a light beer, you can also do a beer shandy, which was actually one of my favorites now on holiday. So I mixed some light beer, which is maybe around 120 calories, with some Sprite Zero, and that actually got me 2 drinks, which was fab, really refreshing, and I really loved that one. So beware of the alcohol and be smart about it. Let's talk about the breakfast buffet. Now I know it can be tempting to eat like everything, like all the croissants, all the cinnamon rolls, all the cheese, I don't know, like, I mean, these breakfast buffets can be insane. So my rule with a breakfast buffet is to just go with the simple stuff that you would normally have at home. And then if there's one thing that you really have your eye on that really like speaks to you, like I need to eat this croissant, then I really recommend to fill yourself with more low calorie foods. So you're not eating the croissant when you're hungry, but rather because you actually just want to taste it and experience it. So this is another tip, guys. When I'm on holiday, what I normally do is all of the meals that I order or that I eat are normally foods that I would similarly eat at home. Why? Because number one, those foods make me feel great. And number two, all of the other indulgent foods that I want to eat, most of the time I actually just want to taste them and experience them. I don't actually need to eat an entire bowl of pasta to get the same experience. So luckily, Gilan actually is the one to order the more indulgent meal.
This is a Portuguese thing, eh?
Pasta nanda.
Give it a go.
Let's do it.
I want your best food blogger sounds afterwards.
Mmm.
Sounds like Stephanie Padam. How is it though, really?
That tastes really good.
Out of 10? Worth the calories?
I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. Very good.
So I will order my beautiful fish with lots of veggies, and I then still get to taste his super indulgent meal, and 1 or 2 bites for me, that is super satisfying. So here's a little tip to taste everything but eat nothing. So eat nothing, not in terms of don't eat any food, but don't actually order an entire meal of indulgent food, because that's just way too many unnecessary calories. You guys will know that I am not against sugar. I preach it all the time. It's all about calories in versus calories out, and if that means you can have a piece of chocolate every single night, as long as it's within your calorie budget, I have no problem with that whatsoever. One thing that I do want to mention while you are traveling is often we are actually a lot more tired, whether that be because of the flight itself, whether it's a time zone difference, whether you don't sleep as well when you aren't at home. And when we are tired, we can tend to actually gravitate more towards sugar as a quick energy source. And I find myself, when I do start with sugar, I often can't stop, because that is the nature of sugar. So we're not having controlled portions. And when you're on holiday, it's a lot more accessible. So sometimes if you go into your hotel room and you'll have some chocolates on the bed, or maybe the mini bar, or when you're in the airport, a chocolate is really accessible, or dessert with every single meal. And I find that once I do get on that sugar train, it's very difficult to get off and kind of keep my willpower and discipline and kind of not go totally off the rails. So, I would say enjoy a dessert, maybe with every second night or every other meal, so not having sugar all the time, and to rather still stick to proper meals that are high in protein, high in fiber, and some good carbs, instead of reaching for something like a chocolate. A little tip when flying, especially if it is a long haul flight where you'll be flying overnight, I always will firstly eat a meal before I get on the plane. Plain food is generally really horrific. I have not been on one airline where I thought, wow, this food is amazing. And funnily enough, I don't know what setting it is, but someone once set Gilan's airline profile up that he wanted a low calorie meal. So sometimes he actually gets brought the low calorie meal, and people, let me tell you, it's horrific. They think low calorie means boiled. So you'll get a boiled piece of chicken with, no, it's just terrible. So I love to be in control of what it is that I'm eating. I love to pre-plan. So I really recommend rather eating a good hearty meal before you get on the plane. Or alternatively, if it is an odd time where you do need to, eat on the plane, really rather grab something in the airport where you'll have way more options and you can actually be in control or choose what it is that you want to bring on the plane. So bring your own food where you can have a delicious, amazing meal, and you don't have to opt for whatever it is that they're just serving on the plane. When I am on holiday, I always try to move a ton. I know that I will be taking in probably a lot more calories than I would be if I was at home. And as you guys know, I work out 5 to 6 days a week, and so I really love to still stay active. When I'm in Europe, walking is everything, so I love it that you can just walk and walk and walk there and explore. I do try and actually pick hotels that do have gyms, so I love to start my day off with a workout. I don't quite feel the same if I don't get some kind of sweat going or some kind of to just get my heart rate up a little bit. There are also a ton of exercises that you can do in your hotel room if you need to. Sometimes I bring along a skipping rope, I'll bring along some bands depending on what equipment they have available at the hotel. But I really do recommend, especially if you are going to be indulging in eating a lot more, to still just dedicate, even if it's just push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and some burpees. If you do just 5 rounds of those in your hotel room, you will be golden. And then last but not least, what I did want to end off with is I really think it's important to have a balance between reaching your goals, maintaining your goals, and of course, living life. So what I really want to say to just finish off this video is that I want you to do your best. So often I'll say to myself, you know, these are all the options available. What is the best option that I can choose with the options available? And not get too worried or too anxious that it isn't the perfect meal, it doesn't have the right protein in it, it doesn't have enough vegetables, and that doesn't have, oh, it has too much sugar, or this, you know, whatever option you have available, just trust yourself based on the knowledge that you have to do your best and make the best choice. Remember that when you understand the science of getting lean, even if you did gain a kilo or 2 on holiday, even if you were Yolo'ing it and went totally crazy, or you just so happen to indulge you know, a bit more than you wanted to, that is okay. Once you know the science, you can know with confidence as soon as you get back into it, you can absolutely pick it up again and lose those kilo or 2 in no time. I hope that you enjoyed these couple of tips. I hope they will help you on your holiday and your travels to come. Remember to get that free download with my top travel tips that you can keep handy next time you're traveling. And of course, if you need some help on how to build your leanest body ever, then I am your girl. Click on the link, visit my website, leangirlguide.com, and let me show you how it's done. Otherwise, look out for more videos from me, Angie. I look forward to connecting with you soon.